Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, I'm gonna do one video about tonight's undercard. Well, just two fights that I'm interested in on the undercard for Gervonta Davis pay-per-view, and that is one fight in the super welterweight division, one fight in the middleweight division. Let's talk about DEREVYANCHENKO ADAMES. Now, this fight is going to be a little tricky to bet because, look, I'm not a believer in ADAMES. I just don't trust the dude. He ain't that good. Was dropped by Top Rank after losing to Teixeira. He's a naturally smaller guy. He's a big target. He's right in front of you. He does let his hands go, but it'll be tricky to bet this fight because DEREVYANCHENKO, there's a possibility he could stop dude. I know the odds are sexy on ADAMES, but it's for a reason. I just don't think he's capable of winning this fight, even against a faded, coming off 2 losses, DEREVYANCHENKO. But DEREVYANCHENKO performed well in those fights. Some people felt he won both of those fights against Charlo and Golovkin. You know, he put in a lot of effort, but definitely took damage. Definitely came away from those fights maybe a little lesser of himself. So I can see why the odds are sexy for ADAMES, but this is a naturally smaller guy moving up at middleweight. This is his best opponent to date. He wasn't able to pass the tests at 154 when Top Rank was developing him. They dropped him after he lost to Teixeira, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't know what it is with these Dominican fighters. They have a lot of ability, a lot of talent, but for some reason they ain't popping in the boxing world. You know, Joan Guzman in his prime was one of the most talented fighters I ever saw, but he was lazy and he was undisciplined. And that seems to be the case for most of these Dominican fighters. A lot of ability, a lot of physical talent, lacking in mental toughness, lacking in discipline, and laziness. So to me, even though DEREVYANCHENKO is going to be, what is he, 36, coming off 2 L's against top fighters, I still think he has enough left to beat Carlos ADAMES. And there's really not much value, though, betting on DEREVYANCHENKO. Will he knock out ADAMES? I don't think he does, because it is a 10-round fight. He is a 10-rounder. So to me, the recommended bet here would be DEREVYANCHENKO by decision, but it's a risky play. There's possibility ADAMES might get stopped. He's right in front of you. He's a target. But DEREVYANCHENKO, I wouldn't say he's the biggest puncher, but he's definitely due for a win. I don't see an upset special here, even though the odds are sexy, but nah, I don't trust ADAMES. Fuck him. So let's move on to the next. Alright, Sebastian Fundora against Sergio Garcia. I'm a little surprised that the odds are that close. I've seen one Sergio Garcia fight against Ted Cheeseman. I wasn't impressed. I don't think he's that slick. I don't think he's a big enough puncher. I don't think he's physical enough. I don't think he's a good enough boxer. So to me, Fundora is one of the best up-and-coming contenders at 54. I think he's the most dangerous contender at 54, or one of the most dangerous. He's alongside there with Tim Tszyu. To me, those two are the most dangerous guys at 54. And Fundora's been on a steady tear, man. He's big, he's tall, he's lanky, and he fights like hell. He punches hard, and he's on a knockout streak. This is another risky fight to bet on. Fundora, in my opinion, will win, but most likely will knock out Sergio Garcia. But he's never been knocked out, so you can get good odds on both plays. But to me, the play will be just pick Fundora straight up and parlay it with something if you want to put up the juice. But I don't see Sergio Garcia winning. It is a good fight, a real fight between contenders at 54. The winner will move on to bigger and better things, and Fundora is steady climbing the rankings and knocking on that WC door. I'm telling you, this guy is going to be a problem for any junior middleweight in the world. And if he's got the chin to back up his physicality and artillery offensively, he's already a nightmare to deal with that size and reach and length and punching power. And he loves to fight. Dude's gonna be one tough guy to beat, bro, at 54. No 54 is going to want to get in the ring with him unless they have to. But I expect another big-time performance by Sebastian Fundora. If not a knockout, clear-cut victory, and he move on to bigger and better things. But those are my thoughts on these two fights. I expect the favorites to pull away, but it's going to be a question of how they win these fights. But to me, the safe bet is DEREVYANCHENKO by decision and Fundora just to win straight up. But if you want to be a little bold, Fundora by knockout. So y'all let me know what y'all think, who you got for tonight's undercard fights. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.